Hey everyone! Hope you're staying warm out there wherever you are. Winter can be a magical time, but it also brings some wild weather. And today, we're diving into one of the most talked about winter phenomena, the polar vortex. You might have heard the term polar vortex tossed around on the news or social media, especially when temperatures suddenly plummet. But what exactly is it? Is it just a fancy buzzword, or is there real science behind it? Well, it's definitely not just a sci-fi term, it's a real and powerful force of nature that meteorologists have been studying for decades. Imagine a gigantic, invisible whirlpool of icy air spinning high above the North Pole every winter. This swirling mass of super cold air is what we call the polar vortex. Most of the time it acts like a barrier, keeping the harshest Arctic cold locked up far to the north, away from where most of us live. But here's where things get interesting. Sometimes, just like a spinning top that starts to wobble, the polar vortex can become unstable. When that happens, it can break apart or shift, sending waves of frigid air plunging southward. This is when we suddenly feel those bone-chilling temperatures, even in places that don't usually get so cold. That's when we feel its bite in North America, with Arctic blasts diving deep into the US and Canada. Cities like Chicago, Toronto, and even places further south can experience record-breaking cold, icy streets and heavy snowfall, all thanks to the polar vortex's unpredictable movements. The polar vortex isn't a new phenomenon. It's been swirling above the Arctic for centuries. But what's changed is our understanding of it, and how often it makes headlines. With more extreme weather events and better technology, the polar vortex has become a hot topic every winter. Thanks to advances in forecasting, meteorologists can now track the polar vortex's movements more accurately than ever before. That means we get earlier warnings and more reliable predictions, so we know when to brace ourselves for its icy impact. This winter, meteorologists are buzzing with anticipation. Early signs and weather models suggest that the polar vortex might wobble again, possibly sending another round of Arctic air our way. Everyone's keeping a close eye on the forecast, and you should too. But don't worry. We're here to help you get ready. Whether it's stocking up on winter supplies, making your home more energy efficient, or just knowing when to bundle up, a little preparation goes a long way. Staying informed is your best defense against whatever winter throws at you. So let's dive deeper into what the polar vortex means for you, your family, and your community. We'll share tips on how to stay safe, warm, and prepared for the coldest days ahead. Winter can be tough, but with the right knowledge and a little planning, you'll be ready for anything. Time for a quick science lesson. Let's unravel the mystery behind those sudden, bone-chilling cold snaps that seem to come out of nowhere every winter. You might have heard meteorologists mention the polar vortex on the news, but what exactly is it? And how does it affect our weather down here on the ground? Let's break it down step by step. The polar vortex is a massive ring of icy winds that lives in the stratosphere, which is a layer of the atmosphere high above the Earth's surface, much higher than where airplanes fly. Picture it as a swirling pool of frigid air, encircled by a powerful jet stream. This jet stream acts like a high-speed fence, keeping the coldest air locked up near the North Pole, far away from our cities and towns. When that jet stream is strong and steady, it does its job perfectly. The cold air stays trapped up north, and we experience relatively normal winter weather, maybe a few chilly days, but nothing too extreme. The polar vortex remains stable and life goes on as usual, but sometimes things change. If the jet stream weakens, often triggered by a phenomenon called sudden stratospheric warming, where temperatures in the stratosphere rise dramatically, the polar vortex can become unstable. It stretches, wobbles, and can even split into smaller vortices, sending pieces of that icy air southward. When this happens, chunks of Arctic air escape their polar prison and plunge southward, sweeping over cities and towns that aren't used to such extreme cold. Suddenly, places that were enjoying mild winter days are hit with bone-chilling temperatures, icy winds, and even snowstorms. What's fascinating is that this isn't a storm you can spot on the radar. There are no swirling clouds or obvious signs in the sky. The polar vortex is more like a master puppeteer, pulling the strings behind the scenes and shaping our winter weather in ways we can't always see. When the vortex is weak, the jet stream becomes wavy and unpredictable. This allows Arctic air to spill much farther south than usual, invading the Midwest, the Northeast, and sometimes even reaching the southern United States. These cold blasts can last for days or even weeks, disrupting daily life and making headlines. The result? We experience wild swings in temperature. One week you might be enjoying a mild spell, and the next you're bundling up against a brutal cold snap. These rapid changes can catch people off guard, making it important to stay informed and prepared. So, while it all starts miles above our heads in the invisible layers of the atmosphere, the effects are felt right here on the ground. We find ourselves digging out heavy coats, layering up and bracing against the icy winds as the polar vortex does its work. And that's the chain reaction behind those headline-making cold waves, the hidden science that turns an ordinary winter into a season of surprises. Next time you hear about the polar vortex, you'll know exactly what's happening high above and why it matters down here. So, what's in store for winter 2025? Early signs show the polar vortex could weaken mid to late winter, from January through March. That means a higher chance of Arctic air breaking free and targeting North America. The upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast are most at risk for extreme cold snaps. Think frostbite in minutes. The West Coast may see milder, wetter weather, while the Southeast could face icy battles. Remember, it won't be cold all the time. Expect waves of normal and even mild temps between Arctic blasts. The key: be ready for a few severe cold outbreaks, not a non-stop deep freeze. Preparation is essential for these high-impact events. When the polar vortex breaks loose, it's more than just a chill. It's a cascade of disruptions. Expect temperatures 20-40 degrees below average, with wind chills that can feel like -50 or 60. Schools and businesses may close, power grids strain, and pipes can freeze and burst. Travel grinds to a halt. Dead car batteries, stranded vehicles, and flight delays become the norm. And while the coldest air is dry, the boundaries can trigger major snowstorms. Lake effect snow and nor'easters that bury communities. The combo of crippling snow and life-threatening cold is winter's 1-2 punch. Being ready means fewer surprises and safer days. Know what's coming, and you'll weather the storm. Let's talk about how to stay safe. Extreme cold is dangerous. Frostbite can hit exposed skin in minutes, and hypothermia is a real threat. Protect your fingers, toes, nose, and ears. Bundle up and limit time outside. At home, frozen pipes are a top concern. Insulate them and keep the heat on. Power demand spikes during deep freezes, risking outages, so have backup heat and supplies ready. Vulnerable groups, elderly kids, those with health issues, and the homeless need extra care. Check on neighbors and know where local warming centers are. Community support can save lives during these events. Preparation and awareness are your best defense. When Arctic air sweeps down from the north, it often brings with it wild winter storms that can transform entire regions overnight. The temperature drops rapidly, and the wind howls through empty streets, carrying with it a biting chill that seeps into every corner. These storms can last for hours or even days, blanketing everything in a thick layer of snow and ice, making the world outside seem almost unrecognizable. Lake effect snow is notorious for its unpredictability. It can dump several feet of snow on some cities, burying homes and vehicles, while just a few miles away, other neighborhoods might see only a light dusting. This phenomenon happens when cold air moves over warmer lake waters, picking up moisture and releasing it as intense snowfall. Residents living near the Great Lakes know to expect sudden heavy snow squalls that can disrupt daily life in an instant. Along the East Coast, powerful nor'easters form offshore, drawing in vast amounts of moisture and cold air. These storms can unleash blockbuster blizzards, with fierce winds and heavy snow that batter coastal towns and cities. Streets become impassable, and visibility drops to near zero, making travel extremely dangerous. Nor'easters can paralyze entire regions, leaving thousands stranded and communities digging out for days. But it's not just snow that causes problems. Ice storms are equally hazardous. When rain falls and freezes on contact, it coats roads, sidewalks, trees, and power lines in a slick, glassy layer. Even a thin glaze of ice can turn a simple walk or drive into a perilous ordeal, and the weight of the ice can cause widespread damage. Ice accumulation can snap tree branches and bring down power lines, plunging neighborhoods into darkness for days. Utility crews work around the clock to restore electricity, but the damage can be extensive. Downed trees block roads, and the sound of cracking limbs echoes through the night. For many, the aftermath of an ice storm is a time of uncertainty and hardship. Travel during these conditions becomes treacherous. Roads are slick, visibility is poor, and even experienced drivers can lose control. Pedestrians struggle through deep snow and cars skid on icy patches. If you don't absolutely have to go out, it's safest to stay put and wait for conditions to improve. If travel is unavoidable, preparation is key. Make sure your car is winter ready, keep the gas tank full, check your tires for good tread, and pack an emergency kit. Include blankets, snacks, water, a flashlight, and a phone charger. It's also wise to let someone know your route and expected arrival time, just in case you run into trouble. Getting stranded in a blizzard is life-threatening. Hypothermia can set in quickly and help may be hours away. Don't risk your safety by venturing out unless it's absolutely necessary. If you do get stuck, stay with your vehicle, keep warm, and wait for emergency responders. During severe winter weather, emergency crews are out in force, plowing roads, clearing down trees, and restoring power. Give them space to work and avoid unnecessary travel so they can reach those in need as quickly as possible. The smartest choice during winter's worst is to stay safe and prepared. Enjoy the beauty of the snow from indoors, help neighbors when you can, and remember that making good decisions can keep you and your loved ones safe until the storm passes. Make your home a fortress before the cold hits. Seal drafts around windows and doors and check attic insulation to keep heat in. Insulate pipes, drain outdoor faucets, and let indoor faucets drip during deep freezes. Never turn your heat off completely. Keep it at least 55 degrees Fahrenheit if you're away. Get your heating system checked and change filters regularly. Clean chimneys and install carbon monoxide detectors if you use fireplaces or generators. Build an emergency kit: flashlights, batteries, radio, first aid, non-perishable food, water, and warm blankets. Have a safe backup heat source and know how to use it. Never use grills or camp stoves indoors. A little prep now means a lot more comfort and safety later. Staying warm starts with dressing smart. Layer up with moisture-wicking, insulating, and waterproof layers. Protect your head, hands, and feet. Limit time outside and know the signs of frostbite and hypothermia. For your car, keep an emergency kit. Blankets, food, water, ice scraper, shovel, sand or cat litter, jumper cables, and a half-full gas tank. Communication is key. Make a family plan, pick a meeting spot, and have an out-of-state contact. Charge your phones and have a power bank ready. Stay informed with trusted weather updates and follow local officials' advice. Preparation keeps you safe and connected. Don't wait for the storm. Get ready now. You'll thank yourself when the cold hits. The polar vortex can be tough, but preparation turns anxiety into action. Dress in layers, protect your home, and keep emergency kits ready. Check on neighbors and stay informed. These small steps make a big difference. Winter brings challenges, but also beauty and community spirit. By preparing now, we can handle whatever comes and still enjoy the season. Remember, we're all in this together. Helping each other is our greatest strength. Let's be ready, be safe, and be good neighbors. We've faced tough winters before, and we'll do it again. Stay warm, stay prepared, and look out for one another. That's your weather update. Now let's see what's happening in your area.